Well, in the admissions office at the School of Social Work, we've employed the Liberatory Consciousness Framework in working to identify, analyze, and take action to remove barriers that make it difficult to apply and enroll in our programs. Through applicant feedback, we've already been aware that completing the application process and financing the application and enrollment process, they're two critical barriers that impact many of our prospective students. We were also aware from prior year data that approximately 40% of our applicants are first generation or from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. And these are two populations that we know can feel these barriers more acutely. So, to help address these financial barriers, in the last 2 years, the admissions office has budgeted for application fee waivers. To address the immediate financial hardships, and we've developed a web page with resources for school, university, and external sources of funding. So for those who are struggling to figure out how to pay for school, we try to be very transparent about cost and more helpful in investigating where students can find additional support outside of just financial aid. We also try to meet students where they are rather than expecting them to travel to us, which can sometimes be costly and take time away from their employment. We also offer weekly virtual information sessions, in-person sessions on all three campuses throughout the year. We've piloted programs such as Coffee with Admissions, where we meet prospective students in their town for coffee on us at a local cafe or Starbucks. We've introduced a lunchtime program, a slice of social work, where we invite applicants to a free pizza lunch and a chance to gather more information about the profession and applying. And we've also invested in diverse recruitment activities such as HBCU Connect, the Latino Social Work Organization Conference, and the Native and Indigenous People Career Fair. So through these and other efforts, our MSW applications were up 13% in 2024, and our new enrolling student numbers were up 9%. And we're also increasing the race and ethnic diversity of our class. Specifically, we enrolled more Black students and Latinx students this year. We also recently reviewed our transfer credit policy to ensure the process was equitable and support students' degree completion. Through applicant data collection analysis, we recognized that we had an increasing number of students applying to return to their degree. Many were working parents of students who had run out of funding during their first attempt at the degree. And the actions we've taken include implementing a more timely process of reviewing transferable credits at the prospect stage of applying. This is so that students can make a more informed decision about investing any further in the application process. We also worked with our faculty admissions committee to determine if an extension of the 6-year transfer rule that we had in place was appropriate, and ensuring that students could maximize the credits that they received, thus reducing their total tuition costs. And after doing some environment scanning and assessment of the validity of coursework taken more than 6 years ago, we did take action to update our transfer credit policy from 6 years to 10 years. With the implementation of this policy last year in 2023, we saw another increase in transfer enrollment in 2024. And lastly, I'll say that this important work couldn't be possible without a committed admissions team. Within the admissions office, we have a very diverse staff that meets regularly as a team, and we've used an informal process of discussion and feedback to assess the need for and identify professional development and mentoring opportunities. Through this shared process, we've taken action to engage in team building exercises over the last few years. For example, we completed an escape room together, we cooked a meal together for families staying at the Ronald McDonald House, and we provided opportunities for staff members to choose their own professional development activities and then share back with us what they learned with the rest of the team. We also continue to check in regularly together and provide opportunities where everyone on the staff has a chance to share their voice, their ideas, and their own personal strengths.
So I incorporated the liberatory consciousness framework into the development of the Puerto Rico course through some intentional strategies to make sure that the course advanced the 4 A's of Barbara Love's liberatory consciousness, namely awareness, analysis, action, and accountability. Um, I do want to say, though, that I also use Kolb's experiential learning framework, which is very similar, but liberatory consciousness explicitly has a social justice perspective that includes that allyship and accountability piece with a goal that it's sustained across time and context and place. So it's for everyday practice against oppression. There was content structure that included readings and critical analysis. of Puerto Rico's history. So students read about the history and even about the context of, for example, Promesa Board's daily impact on residents and modern laws that encourage tax breaks for those moving to the island, and again, the impact on local communities. And so we encourage students to understand systemic issues affecting Puerto Rican society and also to question dominant narratives. We also embedded community engagement throughout the process. So we established a partnership with a local university and visits to community organizations. And our students engaged with community leaders, with students, and with organizations working on social justice issues. In addition, they were able to practice action and accountability through their engagement with students and also through their engagement with organizations that sought their consultation on very specific issues that required a social work lens. And so there were some opportunities for action and for accountability. The third and fourth elements really enhanced their experience. All of it enhanced their experience, but these two are particularly important for liberatory consciousness and their reflective practice and then a liberatory pedagogy. So within the 10 days that we met, our students had group discussions several times during those 10 days. And so these were structured opportunities for them to reflect on their own positionality, their privilege, the impact of their own actions and the actions of others. So we had 3 reflection journals expected of students following Ash and Clayton's critical reflection format called DEAL, which stands for, it's an acronym that stands for Describe, Examine, Articulate, and Learn. And that reflection journaling process asked them to share their insights and to consider critically how power and oppression impacts not only their own practice, but the population in Puerto Rico. Liberatory pedagogy really aligns with critical reflection, but it involves teaching methods in which liberatory principles are implemented to encourage students to actively question and challenge traditional power structures. And it really involves creating a learning environment where all perspectives are valued, students are encouraged to engage in dialogue, and to frankly challenge one another when oppressive systems are visible. But we certainly engaged in substantive ways with the organizations, and we also were able to help our students to engage in critical thinking, critical reflection in a way that allowed them to have deeper insights than simply reading and learning about the population. So the program wasn't just about learning from a distance, but it was deeply rooted in principles of liberation and social justice. The approach helped students develop thinking that moved beyond awareness to action. I found evidence of the 4 A's in the students' reflection journals and also during our group reflection discussions. I continue to receive emails from students that convey transformative perspective. And so I believe that we effectively implemented liberatory consciousness in the study abroad to Puerto Rico.